Welcome back to Alliance War, Season 42, War 2. 4 Loki is facing one of the biggest scumbag alliances in the entire game. Quite frankly, I am shocked that Kabam hasn't come in to this group of scoundrels, put their foot down, and banned all 30 of these accounts. I mean, there's no bigger group of... I can't do it. I love these bastards. My old friends in SSX, except for Jelly. All right, so this particular war, I'm going to be bringing Miguel and someone a little different. That would be my brand new rank 2 7-star Sunspot, because I have a special fight for him. But that's not going to be this fight. This fight is just really, really, really messy. We're starting off on path 7A. Here we have node, 7? Yeah, where when the defender shrugs, they gain a damage reflect. And so my thinking was that I'll just be able to nuke this Elsa down pretty quickly with Sunspot. The problem is that the damage, reverb, reflection, whatever you want to call it, just keeps proccing. And so as much damage as I'm doing to her, I'm also doing to myself. I also delightfully push her to a special 2 because she's a global defender, even though you really want to keep her to her special 1 since they're so easy to dex out of. But yeah, I guess all I can say is that not a great fight by any stretch of the imagination. We'll fight our way out of the corner here in the fight with a special 2, and it's just potions, right guys? Alright, as my dog comes down the stairs to watch the rest of this video, we're going to move on to the second fight, which is Abs Man. Always appropriate to fight a big rank 5 Abs Man when you're facing SSX, and here's MP Blazes. Unfortunately, these jerks did not ban Miguel, and so this fight is pretty much over as soon as it starts. Miguel is a great counter to Abs Man if you max Despair, because with all the debuffs I'm going to be putting on him, I'm just going to take away his healing. Eventually his form will go away, and he's not going to have any sort of physical resistance outside of Uru. And so this is a pretty simple fight. I'm just going to build some of my Ruptures and Dex when I can to keep my Wither up, and just do my thing until he ultimately explodes. The tricky thing about this fight and why we see Abs Man here on node 16 is because if you knock Abs Man down, he's going to armor break, and of course that'll just refine whatever form he's in. But I never need to knock Abs Man down. It's why Miguel there is a better answer than like a Void or something like that. All right, node 21, which is the hazard shift node, we have here a Sasquatch. You know, Miguel's a hard counter to it. I am going to start off the fight with a parry heavy. If I could ever get that parry, I'll eat the Incinerate here. But now that I have the exhaustion on Sassy, he's never going to go into Wrath. And so now this just becomes a normal sort of Miguel dance, wherein, you know, I'm just hitting block, building the Ruptures, and dexing attacks to keep everything paused. Very, very, very easy fight. We saw a big explosion there once he crossed a bar of power, and we'll just keep doing it until eventually Sasquatch goes kablooey. Suck it, Matt. All right, now let's move on to section 2. We're once again going to be on path 8B. Here we have MP Blaze's Storm X. This is only a rank 4, thank God. She is annoying as hell to fight because of the glancing. She's not difficult by any stretch of the imagination. You don't want to push her to a special 2. You want to keep her in special 1, and then it's a 3-hit dex. And so the problem is just that with the glancing, you're not always going to be putting Ruptures on when you hit the block, so it just elongates the fight. And you know, Miguel fights are never really fast time-wise, and certainly this one is not as well. We're slowly getting up there with the Ruptures. They're just hard to get. All right. Nah, she's explode and die. Okay, second fight is going to be a Mystic Spidey. Another rank 5 defender. But Mystic Spidey is really good unless you are buff immune, which is Miguel is. And so this is an extremely easy fight for him. There's really no threat here. No concern about rich get richer. Yeah, and Mystic Spidey's health pool, even at rank 5, is not going to be that high. But, you know, SSX has a really good defense. You know, they've got a ton of rank 5 defenders. And that one hit just... And, you know, so at least they're putting challenges enough that when you pull up to a fight and you see what exactly you're in store for, you're like, oh, no, this might be dangerous. Which is exactly what happened when I pulled up to this fight, Node 47, and I saw it was a 7-star rank 2 America Chavez. Now, I have bragged on my channel and in chats that I do not fear America Chavez. And so when PWF sees her on the map, he's always like, you want to go fight her? And I can't really at this point say no, even though she's super dangerous. And, you know, here's the random heavy that she's going to throw. The strategy here is the same that I had against Mojo last war, where I just want to hit block a bunch at the beginning of the fight, build some ruptures, and then I'm going to parry heavy her and knock her down for the exhaustion, so I can get in some real damage for a little bit. And but you know, the problem with her is that was on me. My spacing was way off on that counter heavy, and I probably even shouldn't have done it. I should have been trying to bait the special one here, so that I could punish the special one. But, you know, that was just poor play on my part. Fortunately, it doesn't hurt me. Miguel is just too powerful even against this type of defender. Because he just turns off so much of her kit. There, you get around the damage reflection by the hitting block and letting the ruptures do their work. I said the spores, like this is Omega. SSX banned Omega against us, which was an interesting call. Here I'm about to run out of my wither, so I have to be very, very careful on what I do. The string of heavies causes me to lose it. So now I don't have a wither to control her power gain. So now I really need to be on with baiting the special one. Go ahead and knock her down to remove protection. I should be at another combo right at an SB2, and her health is low enough that it should kill her. So, tough fight, man, from a big, beefy girl. Speaking of tough fights, we've got this rank 5 Longshot. Jeez. Rank 5 Longshot. This is the future, you know, from Tom Jarvis on the conflictor node. I played this very poorly last war and was basically lucky to survive. And so this time, you know, I made sure that I was thinking about this fight ahead of time and saying, all right, look, make sure that, you know, when you get to that 2-bar of power, that you do the parry heavy in order to trigger the conflictor before you throw the SB2. So the conflictor has been triggered here, and I'm a dummy and I don't realize it. I parry heavy when conflictor is on, so it eats my wither again. I did it again. Oh, fuck me. It's so stupid. I don't know why I keep messing this up. And I didn't panic, which is the goal here, right? Is because obviously I know that I can still win this fight. I just have to make sure that I do a better job of spacing. So I'm just trying to bait this SP1 while I work my way back up to 2 bars of power. And hopefully I don't get into a situation where I push him to 2 bars, where there's a threat with him, you know, burning me to death with an SB2. And of course, here I am back in the frickin' corner again. But I'm at 2 bars of power, so all I really need to do is trigger that conflictor, and I should be able to throw my SB2. And so here I go. All right, it's triggered. I'm throwing it. I don't care. And now the fight's over. Dear God in heaven. Oh, I mean, PWF asked me how the Longshot fight was this war, and I said miserable. I never want to do this shit again. I'll probably end up having to do it next war. All right, next we're going to move on to the obligatory Mangog on 54. This guy has been parked on node 54, I feel like, for 10 seasons in a row. I feel like we fight him every war with Miguel. I don't know that there's been any defender that I fought more than Mangog in my entire MCOC career. So, it's just a very, very easy fight at this point. No real surprises, know exactly what to do. And so it's just about speeding up this video to get through it as quickly as possible. All right, so while this is going on, there's a discussion behind the scenes over how we're going to handle the rank 5 Attuma boss that SSX gave us. We had an option of a rank 5 Doom, we had a rank 5 Omega Sentinel, and then we had my 7-star Sunspot. So after discussion, the decision would be that I would do it with the Sunspot. Threw on a guidance boost. We had a guy who bring APOC. I'm going to make Sunspot a horseman. I'm going to use a PS1 boost, mutant boost, change my masteries to maximize my offense. I want to crit in this fight, even though Attuma is global, because I'm trying to crit on my SB2 so that way I can get a monster amount of damage. So throw the SB1. Now we're just going to bait out his special. Unfortunately, we pushed him above 2 bars of power because he is global. We're just going to take his special 2 on the block because of Sunspot's block proficiency with incinerates on Attuma. And now we're in a spot where we are about to launch a big special 2. And that's a 248,000 special. And with the power back boots, I'm right at another special 2. And he ain't surviving it. That is one monster fight. And in chat, I just had to laugh at it because we spent so much time in officer chat talking about this particular fight and what we were going to do. Ended up being a nothing burger. So good luck to the guys in SSX. We'll see what happens, and I'll see you in the next life check.